We had 18 months to develop a car.
Hello everyone, I am thrilled to be welcoming Mr. Dave Kerpen. Mr. Kerpen is a serial entrepreneur, a New York Times best-selling author. He's a global keynote speaker and an investor. So following his sponsored wedding, which raised over $100,000, of which $20,000 went straight to charity, him and his wife eventually launched Likeable Media, which is the only three-time WOMI Award winner for excellence from the Word of Mouth Marketing Association. And it's also one of the 500 fastest growing private companies, according to the INC magazine, for 4 consecutive years. Mr. Kerpen is also the co-founder and co-CEO of Apprentice, which is a platform that connects the top 5% of entrepreneurs with the brightest and hardest working college students around the globe. Which is, by the way, incredible because my platform, on a much smaller scale, of course, is attempting to have a similar impact. He has been featured on the Today Show, CNBC's On the Money, BBC, ABC World News Tonight, the New York Times, the CBS Early Show, and countless blogs. Mr. Kerpen has keynoted at dozens of conferences around the globe, including Singapore, our very Athens in Greece, Dubai, San Francisco, Cologne, Toronto, Bangkok, and Mexico City. His very first book, Likeable Social Media, became a New York Times bestseller and is now on its 3rd edition. He followed up with 2 more books, Likeable Business and Likeable Leadership. Now his latest book is called The Art of People, 11 simple people skills to get you everything you want. This short interview dives into the journey of Mr. Kerpen from launching Likeable Media until today, and serves to describe how he managed to have such outstanding, admittedly, impact through both his entrepreneurial spirit and author work. I want to sincerely thank him for the allocation of his very valuable and limited time to talk to me, reflect upon his journey, share his thoughts, adversity he overcame, and how that adversity and life lessons can be transferred to us, to you guys, to the young generation, so that we can go after our goals with everything we have. I would like to welcome Mr. Dave Kerpen. So Dave is a serial entrepreneur. He's also co-founder and chairman of Likeable Media, an award-winning social media and word-of-mouth marketing agency for big brands. Dave is also a New York Times best-selling author, investor, and keynote speaker. So Dave, thank you for allocating your valuable time to talk to me and hopefully inspire some aspiring entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, and myself included. Thank you.
My pleasure. Great to be here.
So,
Happy to be
no
here.
worries at all. The pleasure is all mine. So I would like to take you back. I would like to take you back to basically your college days for a little bit, because I want to understand your vision and how this developed. I think this is crucial to see where that pivoting point came. And then you understood, okay, now I want to be an entrepreneur. Now I want to go into the digital media and have an impact. So how did that all start?
Sure. So I went to school in Boston. I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship because I couldn't afford to pay for college otherwise. I got a full scholarship, but I didn't. I had to pay for my own room and board. And so freshman year, I was my first year. We Americans have 4 years, of course. In my first year, I was a babysitter and tutor. And my second year, I took a job working at the ballpark, baseball games at Fenway Park, and basketball and hockey games at the Boston Garden. And I was a ballpark vendor, so I sold products in the aisles of this in stands. And the way ballpark vendors get paid is based on commission. And I was studying elementary education at the time. I wanted to be a teacher. But I quickly developed a shtick to sell Crunch and Munch and sold a lot of Crunch and Munch and made a lot of money. and got a lot of local media attention. And I was basically an entrepreneur, even though I was working for a company, because I was paid on commission. And that whole experience made me fall in love with the idea of sales, marketing, PR, and really entrepreneurship. And then I ended up going into the field after college.
Mhm. So Krantz and Munch ended in 2000, and you founded Likeable Media in 2006.
Yes, so there was some time along the way. So
Yeah.
indeed, crunch. So after I graduated from college, I had to get a real job, and I started working at Disney in sales. I was the #1 salesperson in the country until this woman started working in my office, and she dropped me to #2. And I fell madly in love with her. If you can't beat him, join him. She was married already, so unfortunately, that was one deal I could not close. And she moved with her husband to New York, and I did what anyone with unrequited love would do. I went on a reality television show to find true love, a sleazy show on Fox from a wonderful British producer named Mentor. And Sexy Singles at a luxury resort, and Me, which made for great television. And after the show, I was living in Los Angeles for a bit as a D-list celebrity, but I still missed the woman from Disney, and called her up, and it turned out she was going through a divorce, and I hopped on a flight to New York, and we started dating, and then we eventually got married. So Carrie's been with me now. We've been married for 16 years. And we ended up getting married at a baseball stadium and creating a sponsored wedding promotion. We sold sponsorships for flowers and alcohol and food and wedding dresses and you name it. We raised $100,000, had a great wedding. The event generated so much media that our wedding vendors said, this was great. What are you guys going to do next? And we couldn't get married again, so we started a company instead. And that was our first company, Likeable, that we started in basically 2007, right after the wedding.
It's crazy the fact that the pivoting point was a marriage, and how you moved from it. That was something that I saw in your profile and was like, okay, that's extremely interesting. Like to see the rationale behind it, because it's a very sensitive moment. But it turned out to be a venture for you and your wife as well, because you're doing this together. So can you also talk to me about I want to shift the conversation to mentorship as well, because I think it's extremely important. And there's a lot of ambiguous information because it depends on people's experience with mentors. So what's your experience with mentors, and how would you advise a young aspiring entrepreneur to seek mentorship?
Yeah, so mentorship is something I'm very, very passionate about. I've been very fortunate to have some terrific mentors in my life that I really wouldn't have the success that I've been able to have without their guidance and leadership. Actually, Jim McCann, the founder and chairman of 1-800-Flowers.com, was definitely one of my mentors, and he was one of those sponsors of the wedding, and done a bunch of business with him through the years. And as somebody that's benefited from mentorship, I'm super committed to giving back and being a mentor myself, which is I spend every Thursday afternoon meeting with people and helping mentor them. Anyone that's watching or reading this can schedule time with me at scheduledave.com and hopefully enjoy the benefit of a free mentorship from me. I think that many people are scared to ask for mentors or don't know the right way to do it, so that holds them back. Fear is the #1 thing that holds us back, basically in all things. I guess fear of rejection, or fear of not knowing how to do it, or fear of not knowing what to say keeps people back. But from my perspective, I think it's a pretty simple formula. I've worked very hard to build my network big, and that allows me to reach out through mutual connections to people that I want to connect with and even seek mentorship from. And when I reach out through those mutual connections, I always make sure that I have something to give, and I'm not just asking for mentorship for me, but I'm offering something. And the example I use when I talk to college students and young people is, you may not think you have something to offer some big successful CEO or author or whomever, but you absolutely do. Everyone watching this has something to offer. Perfect example is the rapid change in communication and in social media. And you could write on LinkedIn to almost any Fortune 500 CEO and offer to help them with TikTok or Be Real, and they would think, oh wow, that's really cool. Yes, I could use some help with TikTok and Be Real. I don't understand them at all. And at the same time, obviously, they could help mentor you. So I think the way to do it is be courageous, go through a mutual connection, and offer something of value.
And I think that this interview is a testament to exactly what you said if we extrapolate it. Because what it is basically approach you out of the blue and you reply to me. So for anyone who is watching this, it's what you said. Be brave, go out there, seek, offer value as well. Don't just ask for something. And as far as mentorship, I want to expand on Apprentice, which you have behind you as well, because this is exactly what I'm doing, but on a way bigger and more quality scale, of course. And you're connecting high motivated students with executives and offering mentorship as well. So do you want to talk to me about Apprentice?
Yeah, I'm so proud of Apprentice. I've had college students work for me for the last 13 years, and Rob was one such student who worked for me for a few years. And what I would do, previously, I would have them work for me while they were in school, and then when they graduated, they would come work for me full time. And I had already molded them, and they were able to jump into really senior positions and co-author books with me and help me run teams. Really valuable stuff. And Rob Burke worked for me for a couple of years while he was in school, and he said, "I think there's a model here. I think we can scale this concept." And I said, "You're totally right." And so he became my business partner and co-founder, and now he's the CEO of the company. And it's wonderful. We've matched hundreds of the top college students with great entrepreneurs and small business owners, and they can help them with various tasks, and they get paid along the way. And small business owners get access to really great talent that's out there. So yeah, if any students watching and you want to get involved, get a great job and get great access to top-notch learning, check out chooseapprentice.com. Or I think the application to become an apprentice is at joinapprentice.com.
Mm-hmm. But apart from pragmatic learning and measurable results, you have also placed a lot of importance through your books as well on people. So through The Art of People you've written, you've placed a lot of effort into promoting the importance of connecting with others and how to do so to be able to be successful. Do you want to talk to me about the rationale behind some of your books?
Yeah. So people has been a thread from the start. My first book was called Likeable Social Media, and it was really one of the first social media books. And I was very fortunate to be asked to write that book by McGraw-Hill. And it ultimately came down to people skills, but online, people skills, social media is more people skills at scale, but still people skills. And then I wrote Likeable Business and Likeable Leadership, again, around how to build great companies, much of which is done with great people skills. And then, as you mentioned, my more recent business book is called The Art of People, and it extend some of what I write about, what I've written and talked about, to really all relationships. My thesis is that whether it's personal or business, our relationships with other people are the most important drivers of our happiness and our success. And so we might as well try to optimize those relationships.
That's where you focus. Let's say you enter a small business that you've been asked maybe to scale up, for instance, like you did with Mentorcom. So Where do you focus when you enter a small business? Where do you place importance when scaling it up?
Well, sort of depends on the business and depends on what the business challenges are. But with respect to general principles of scale, there has to be product market fit. There has to be a big market that has a problem that you're solving. And then there has to be a go-to market strategy that addresses how to solve a lot of your market's problem with your product. And then once you have unit economics that work, in other words, once you can demonstrate that, we'll just use you for example. Once George has a problem, I can solve George's problem with my product. There's a lot of other Georges out there. I can reach those Georges in a predictable way using Google Ads or some other model, and now I can put more gasoline in that on the fire. I can now scale up. I can duplicate. I can increase how many Georges I'm reaching, and I know that I'm going to be able to sell each George successfully, and I'm going to be able to help each George. That's really what scale is about in a nutshell.
So approaching a lot of individuals who want the product or the service, and then spreading it out. I think it goes back to what we said about the Likeable media, the mouth of word advertising, which I think it's invaluable and it's the best type of advertising there is. Would you agree on that?
Yes, and I just want to clarify. You talked about selling people something that people want. It's really more than that. We need to sell people things that they need, right? So want is great. That's like a vitamin. But need is like, if I have a headache, I need aspirin. I don't want aspirin, I need aspirin. So the person that sells aspirin is going to be much more successful than the person that sells vitamins, because vitamins are a want, but aspirin is a need. Back to word of mouth. Yeah, word of mouth has always been the most effective form of advertising, because we trust people we know. And if you can create word of mouth at scale through social media, digital marketing, influencer marketing, then you can achieve great success with your marketing.
So Dave, if we summarize everything that we said, I think it's going to be a very difficult question, but if you could squeeze out maybe a tip for a young entrepreneur, what would you say to them? How should they approach their dreams in the digital media space that you are as well?
Well, in any space, have the courage to go for it, of course, but also focus on one problem and one market, and don't try to do a million things at once. That's the biggest thing I see people making, young entrepreneurs trying to do too much too quickly. Mark Zuckerberg started with one small site for just Harvard students. He didn't start by saying, I'm going to build Facebook for the world. Very important to start small, focus, and prove that somebody actually wants your product. One person is willing to pay for your product or service. That is essential.
I think these are invaluable lessons. We're always looking at the bigger picture and becoming millionaires. This is not going to happen. All we seek is one sale, which is going to scale up, as we mentioned before. So Dave, I want to thank you for allocating your time. Again, it really means a lot to me and to the students who will see this.
You got it. Thank you, George, and thanks everyone for giving us your time today. And have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, Dave. Have a good one. Wish you all the best.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye.